Hey everyone, I hope you've watched the rest of my playlist on how to build your own home server. If you remember, I have an old SATA SSD that has only 90 gigs of storage space. Today I'm replacing it with a new M.2 NVMe drive that has 250 gigs of storage space on it. To do this, we'll need a few things. First, we need to go ahead and back up all data, which I've already done. Second, we need to ensure that we have a copy of Windows 10 or whatever operating system that you're using. And then we need to power down the computer and unplug it, which I've also already done. Once powered down, we need to go ahead and take the case apart and unplug all internal hard drives from power and SATA connections. So let's go ahead and do that. Some may argue that this step is not necessary, but I like to do it when installing a new operating system so that I can ensure that I do not accidentally wipe an unnecessary drive or install on the wrong drive. So just something I do for extra security. Next, you want to remove the hard drive with the old operating system, which is this one right here, so that's pretty easy. Next, I'm going to install the new NVMe drive. Alright, so the NVMe drive is actually going to be mounted right here. So just going to slide that in. So it clicks, and then it has a little screw that has to go in. It has a little screw that has to go in the back side here. Now that we have the NVMe hard drive successfully installed, we need to power up the computer and boot to the USB drive that has the operating system. This shouldn't take too long since I'm using USB 3.0 and going to an M.2 NVMe hard drive. If I was going to, USB 2.0 to a hard disk drive, it'd take a lot longer to install the operating system. Once we get the operating system installed, all you have to do is redo your settings or restore from a backup point, which I will do since I used Veeam for backing up this computer. Once all this is done, all that's left is to power down and connect all of your hard drives with the SATA and power cables. I actually installed an 8 terabyte drive and moved my 1 terabyte up, as well as my 500 gig hard drives, got them all moved up. I'm going to reorganize all of my drives. My 8 terabyte will be my new backup instead of my 1 terabyte. And so, as a side note, this is the time to make all of your major changes, whether it's to your settings, users, and even all your drives that you're going to be utilizing. So this is the time to do it before you get your server back up and running 100%. For a tip, if you do run into issues with drives not wanting to correctly show up and your computer wants to wipe them instead of just utilizing them, if you have an extra hard drive laying around, or I just installed a new hard drive, take all your hard drives out and use a hard drive dock, plug this in, and then move all your stuff over to the new hard drive, then install them, wipe them, and then take everything that you move to the new hard drive and put them in all the other hard drives accordingly. Long way to do it, but sometimes that's the way you actually have to do it with new operating systems. Once all your hard drives are set up, once your computer settings are set up and your users are given correct access, you should be good to go back to normal. One thing, do not forget to rename your computer. Sometimes that's overlooked, and then it's like, why can't I get to blah blah blah? Well, you didn't name it blah blah blah. It's named random letters and numbers by Windows. So be sure to remember to do that. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below. Be sure to like and subscribe.